Postcards aren't something new for LEGO, but done this beautifully, it's a first for sure. The LEGO Ideas Tales of the Space Age is both simple and brilliant, and I honestly can't praise it enough. But before all that, inside the box we find 5 different booklets with amazing art on the covers, something that isn't new to LEGO Ideas sets. The first has a bit of info on the origin of the set, individual names and background story for each of the postcards, and a few words from the fan designer. The remaining 4 booklets all have instructions for their respective builds, so this is a great set to build with someone else if you're into that. The style for all of the builds is quite similar, built on top of a 4x12 studs base with some sort of foreground detail, a 2 bricks deep background with black and a few shades of a specific color group that look like sunsets on different planets, and some sort of brick built detail in the sky. The first, named Cool Cosmic Travelers, is all about comets that were represented here with clever part choices. I love the use of the Harry Potter wand elements in white for the debris of the main comet, whose tail was built with this weird tail/claw element. At the foreground of this planet there's some dishes, so maybe to represent deep space research observatories. Intergalactic Road Trips is all about the use of space vehicles in the aid of space exploration, so there's this micro rover in the foreground of what I like to imagine being the planet Mars, given the orange color spectrum of the background, and on the sky the silhouettes of 2 moons done with offset rounded elements to great effect. Out of This World is the name of the 3rd postcard, and the space rocket launching into space, leaving behind all of this smoke made with different sized round elements, is brilliant. Simple, but brilliant. It's probably the first time I don't mind the use of the LEGO coral colored bricks, and in the sky you'll notice a constellation done with a new printed 1x1 flat tile. Now, if you're into space and stargazing at all, you'll notice that the pattern of the stars here represents the Ursa Major constellation, which is an awesome reference. The cool thing about this postcard is that there are instructions and extra pieces for you to choose to build 3 other constellations: Cassiopeia, Cepheus or Ursa Minor. The last postcard, named Into the Unknown, depicts a modern representation of a black hole, and while not being my favorite, has a cool mix of colors for the planet's surface and black elements on the foreground to maybe represent the silhouette of mountains in the distance. These are incredible little pieces of art, featuring a bit of a retro style to them, but that goes so perfectly together and are a brilliant, neat little display piece. They can rest on a shelf like so, they can be hanged on a wall due to having the special LEGO art sets element in the back, they can be placed on their own, or using the included extra pins on these Technic brick holes to the sides of the postcards to combine them all together. Personally, I like them a lot more when they're separate from each other. The builds were pretty much identical at their core, but not necessarily boring, and the different foregrounds and details on the sky made them interesting builds to put together. Also very satisfying, because it's becoming increasingly rare that you build LEGO sets with mostly regular bricks and plates, which this set had a ton of. The price on these will probably surprise you. The set has 688 pieces and will only cost $50. That's a steal in my opinion, and makes it that much more desirable. I'm very happy that LEGO is finally understanding that there's a lot of potential in the $100 or less price range of products aimed at adults. LEGO Ideas in particular has had a lot of success with the ship in a bottle in the past, having retired the set and bringing it back for a second run. The Saturn V was initially priced at $100 when it first came out, but after a while got its price bumped up, and it also came back for a second run. The Star Wars dioramas and helmets, the Jurassic Park diorama, or the Tallneck that was constantly out of stock on the first few months after release are some great examples of how affordable LEGO sets can make a stand and probably outperform the ridiculous oversized releases of recent years. Tales of the Space Age is even cheaper than all of those, makes for a perfect display piece of art, a true LEGO building experience with lots of bricks that can be built together with other people, and makes for a perfect gift that I'll probably be handing out myself a couple copies of to friends and family. I'm very much into space. I wanted to be an astronaut as a kid, so I could be a little biased in regards to this one, but if it wasn't clear already, I like it a lot. On May the 8th, go buy a few using the links below to show some support. A small step for you, a giant leap for this channel for sure. Oh my god, that's so cringy, sorry.